Forwarding.
It says has started screen sharing, but okay, yeah, looks like it came up.
It might be loading.
Yeah, got it. I see that.
Sonia?
Yeah, I see it.
And both of you know what ERP, like you have good experience in ERP. Like org structure in finance, okay, how it works, and one thing, what do you know about like S4Hana?
Net issue.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, it's seems some internet connection issue. Yeah, Krishna,
So,
please check out your connection.
okay.
Yeah, check out the connection. Well, the voice is also breaking.
So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see your screen, but voice is breaking a little bit.
Okay, wait. Yeah, now can you hear my voice, please? Is it still breaking?
It is still breaking.
Hello?
Go ahead. Let's see if it is still continue to break. Then we'll.
Okay, let's start from you. What are the differences between ECC 6.0 and S4HANA? You can answer me this question. And why S4HANA? Let me start from both Rama and Sonia. Are you working on ECC 6.0 or S4HANA?
ECC 6.0.
ECC.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. What are the advantages of S4HANA?
You keep going, Krishna. First, we want to hear from
fine.
you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, because it question answer, it will take a lot of time. Because already it was already shared information, so you keep just refresh what you want to refresh, and then we can get into the actual subject.
Yeah, sure. S4HANA, like, is the speed and the arrangement of the data in the tables is different from S4HANA, and it's a single source of truth. Okay, we have multiple tables, multiple views in SEC 6.0, but here it's only table, single table. Okay. This is a single source of truth, which is called as universal journal. All the data, whatever you post, okay, will be stored in this table, SE.k. Okay. And if you remember, if you recall, all finance data, like in ECC 6.0, it was in BKPF, the header data, and the line item data was going to BSEG. Now these are views here. In S4HANA, these are views, and it's everything, whatever you are posting, all the transaction data, whatever you post, let it be header or transaction, sorry, line item, everything will go and sit in SE.k, which is built of truth. It's a unique journal. Okay. And these tables, all the tables are views now, not tables. These are called views in S4HANA. Just for displaying the top. Okay. If you extract the data, you have to extract only from AC.k, S4HANA. Okay. Okay. I will get into this into deep, like, later. Now let's start about regarding org structure. Okay. In a finance, okay. The first thing is client. You know about this, correct? Client. Client is the topmost point unit in the org structure. Okay. So within the client, we are going to do, like, we are going to create a multiple units, other org units in finance, MM, and like SD, etc. Okay. So client is so for example, production client, quality. There are multiple clients within server. In quality server, we'll have multiple clients for integration testing, for training part, like that. Okay. And in development also, we'll be having multiple clients, as you know. like for doing the developments like configuration, for doing the Z development, separate, it's a separate client. For unit testing, it's separate client. Okay, that is called as client. Okay, and as you know, we have 3 servers, right? Development server, quality, and production. Some clients have pre-production also, but typically majority of the clients or majority of the companies will have these 3 servers. So development server for configuration, for custom developments or Z developments. Okay, for unit testing.
Krishna, this is all good information, but I think we don't need to go into that detail level.
Okay,
We just go to the, I know, sorry, Sonia may have different opinion, but I would just,
It's fine. Go ahead.
yeah, just jump into the finance part.
Okay.
S4, why is S4Hana versus ECC, and what is the difference? Those kind of things, not really all this org structure
Okay.
at client level.
You don't want org structure also, you don't want?
Org structure from the finance perspective.
Yeah, from finance point of view, I'm just going to explain the org structure.
Yeah, you can quickly go through and.
That's what, I want to cover everything. So thought of, the explaining different clients, like clients will come under each server. Multiple clients will be there under each server, like development, quality, and production.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Those
production is one client. There'll be only one client in production, which is the real time. So all the users, all the people will post data in production, as you know. Okay. Under client is operating concern. So this is related to, one second.
It's 8 o'clock.
Okay. So this is related to your Copa. Copa is a reporting submodule within finance. I'm going to explain that also. So under operating concern is controlling area. Under that is company. Under that is company code. This is the typical FICO org structure. So that means here, this is a hierarchy. Under client, we can create multiple operating concerns. That is, the relationship between client and operating concern is like a parent and children. Okay. So parents have multiple kids, right? Multiple children they can have. In the same way, we can create like multiple operating concerns, which is related to Copa. I'm going to explain that also. Okay. And under operating concern is controlling area. That means the same relationship, parent and children. Like under operating concern, we'll have multiple controlling areas. We can create multiple controlling areas. Controlling areas related to controlling. Like now it is called as S4Hana management accounting. It was called as controlling now. So there's separate certification for these also. Okay, so it's a management accounting. I will call it as management accounting or controlling. And under controlling area, we can create multiple companies. So company code is the main org unit in the finance and controlling. Without company code, you can't do anything. So this basic org structure should be created in the system to implement other modules. All other modules are linked to finance and controlling. There is no client who can implement other modules like MM, SD, PS, water, BW, water may be, without creating the, implementing finance and controlling. So FICO is a core module, which is central module. And surrounding these modules are MMSD, which are all the postings what are done in other modules will come and sit in finance and controlling. Like that means finance and controlling FICO is tightly integrated to all other modules like MMSD, PS, BW, everything. And this is the main unit in finance and controlling. Without this, you can't post any transaction data, which is called as company code. Okay. And we have some modules like I can divide this into financial accounting, like S4Hana. Like we have 2 certifications, like separate certifications for finance and controlling now. It was a single certification in the past, but now in S4Hana, It's you can do two certifications: financial accounting and management accounting. So I'm going to divide this FICO module into financial and management. Okay, and what is the difference between financial accounting and management accounting? Rama, you already work in finance, right? You should be in position to answer this question. So, what do you know? Why we have divided this? The total finance into financial accounting, controlling, or financial accounting and management accounting.
Yeah, basically financial accounting is for external accounting where you have the GL, APAR, and management accounting is the internal accounting where you have all your costs posted, revenue recognition, revenue, profit center level revenue calculating.
Yeah, correct. So financial accounting is mainly for external reporting. So that means external users, they will access this data. Like for example, we need to submit as per company law, or it is different in different countries. So as per company law, all the companies has to submit the financial statements like income statement, balance sheet.
Right.
All
the
this should be
SEC,
submitted
the
to the.
yeah.
Sorry,
I think we are clear on that.
Okay. And not only just for government, investors, okay, suppliers, they will look into your balance sheet, before establishing the relationship with the company to do the business. And if you apply for a loan, bank will see the balance sheet. So that means all the data, whatever you posting in financial accounting, is like exposed to the external users. So apart from internal users like managers, management level, and other users will be having access to this data, like the financial statements. The same way, even external users will have access to this data. So this is mainly for external reporting, and this is mainly for internal reporting. So except the internal users, like management, higher management, or division management, they will have access. They will see the data, and none of the external users, like government. Okay, for example, costing the product. I want to cost the product. So when you do prepare the cost sheet or something, no other external users will see that data. They don't require. They want to see the financial position only, not the internal position. So this is something related to in costing. As you know, there are three types of expenses: direct material, direct labor, and overheads. So this is for internal analysis. So all managers will see take this data and analyze internally to cost the product. And suppliers, bank, they don't need this. So whatever you do internally will be posted in management accounting. So coming to the submodule, we have here general ledger, accounts receivable. You already know this, but just I'm covering. Okay. So these are the four submodules we will have. We will be studying. And account receivable, accounts payable, asset accounting, or linked to general ledger. Like it's like a general ledger is like a backbone, as you know. So whatever you post in receivables, like customer postings, payable, vendor postings, and asset accounting, all your asset related data will go and sit in the general ledger. Okay. So all these three are linked to the general ledger. This is a backbone. This is like a similar to backbone. Okay. Now management accounting. Of course, we will see like FI integration and SD, FI integration, because whatever the postings you do in material management or distribution will come and sit here. Like all accounting documents will get automatically posted based on the configuration in SDFI integration parts. So there's some configuration we need to do behind this integration. So once we complete the configuration, automatically all the postings, what you do in will come and sit in finance. Okay. Any doubt in this financial accounting submodules? This?
No.
No, we are good.
So these are some modules you need to be aware. Okay, and under management accounting will be cost element accounting, but in S4 HANA, okay, I'll explain that later. Cost elements we want to study. So all your general ledgers, GL accounts. So when you want to create a GL account, okay, a general ledger account, you create it under one chart of accounts. So all the GLs chart of accounts, will be cost elements in management accounting. Mainly your expenses, all your expenses will be created as cost elements. So though those will be linked to your the GLs are nothing but these are called as cost elements in management accounting, nothing else. Okay, and cost centers.
We lost him again.
COPC, that is product costing.
Krishna, please share the screen. It was disconnected.
Okay, sorry. What's happening? Maybe my internet is weak. I don't know exactly.
Please share your
Yeah,
screen.
can you see my? Yeah, I already did. Can you see it, please?
It's coming up.
No, I think it's stuck.
Already I shared the screen.
Yeah, now I see.
Yeah.
So cost element accounting, cost center accounting, profit center accounting, internal orders, and the COPC, which is nothing but your product costing, where the costing mainly manufacturing industries will implement this product costing. Like if the retail client or retail business is not required, unless if they do any assembling of the things, they consider that as a manufacturing. In that case, they will use this product costing, but they're not going to deep. So mainly manufacturing industries, production industries will implement COPC, which is very, very important for them. So many things will be covered here, like how the direct material will be accounted, direct labor and overheads, how it is accounted. Like direct material will be like through, it is linked to, we have one more module called as production planning. So in production planning, we create the production order. So the COPC is linked to that production planning. Completely it's linked to production planning. So without production planning, implementation, we can't do anything in finance, like under management accounting about regarding this COPC. So like, for example, your direct material, it comes from production planning only, which is called as BOM, bill of material. And that labor will come from routing. Routing also done in production planning only. And overheads, we normally do within controlling. So here I can divide this into three. That material. Overheads. So these are three typical components which will come under product costing. And the last one is Copa, which is
Krishna, will you fix the problem that something is loose connection?
I don't know what's happening, because in the past 20 minutes it didn't trouble me, but I'll check what's happening here.
Is it broadband, right?
Sorry?
Is it broadband connection?
Zahir, your voice is not clear for me.
I'm saying, is it broadband connection or does it connect via mobile?
Maybe it looks some internet problem. Internet, I don't know. It is very strong. I don't know what is happening. Okay. I'll check. I'll check the here. Okay.
Okay,
I'll check.
okay.
No issues. Okay. So the Copa module is mainly for reporting purpose. So like some clients will require different kinds of reporting at customer group level, at material group level. So for those kind of reporting part, we can implement in Copa. And beyond this, if they want more reports, it's only BW, BI BW. Okay. So these are submodules which are covered under financial accounting and management accounting. Okay. And mainly company code. Company code is the main unit without which you can't implement anything. Not only finance and controlling, other modules also. So during implementation, as you know, if you go for in a implementation project, the first action will be the finance consultant part. He need to create the org structure. He will create the org structure. He will after the requirement gathering, he'll sit with the business, collect all the requirements, and the first thing he has to do is complete the org structure. Then only other people can do. Like for people, as you know, they will create multiple different kinds of units in their own module. Like for example, purchasing organization. Okay, plant, storage location. So these are the typical units in I can say within These are related. So that guy can create all this only once the company code is ready, because we are going to link all this to company code. Okay, and in the same way, SD also. Like sales area. Sales area is nothing but it consists of 3 components. It's a sales organization, distribution channel, and division. So these are typical units in SD. So even these three together is called as sales area. We call it as sales area, as you know. Okay. So these are linked to, once these are created, we need to link this to company code. So the prerequisite for all other modules is company code. Without company code, nothing can be done. No implementation can be done. No other modules can work on the thing. Okay, in the project. So finance and controlling is very, very important, which is a core module, and or even PS, okay, process systems, your production planning, all these modules are linked to your finance and controlling. Like for example, if you create a production order, we need to issue the goods correct, to production. So for manufacturing, we purchase the raw material, we procure the raw material from vendor, and will send it to the production department for manufacturing. Even for that, okay, you need to issue the goods to production order. So for that also, there'll be journal entry within finance and controlling. So for every activity in other modules, whatever they do, it's linked to finance and controlling. Okay. Now let's talk about the flow. Like what are the flow and what are the points where our financial accounting will get impacted. Impacted means where the journal entry will get posted automatically because of the configuration, MMFI integration and SDF integration configuration. Automatic postings will happen. Okay, and we'll see the flow. And then we will understand like what are the points where journal entries will get posted in finance. Okay, like for example, let's take flow or purchasing flow, I can say. Okay, okay. Who knows about this flow? Anybody knows or? Hello.
I know a little bit, but not really much. So
okay, no problem. We'll just go through. Better we'll go through. Okay. So what is the first step? Do you think, Mr. Rama? What is the first step that will happen in purchasing? What will trigger department to purchase the material, raw material, or any material, whatever it may be? What is the trigger for that within the company or within the business?
you mean the purchase arc, or you are talking about the purchase order?
Yeah, purchase order, exactly. But before purchase order, what is the activity that will happen? So purchasing department, they'll create a purchase order to procure the material. They'll create the purchase order in module.
RFQ.
Yeah, before
PR.
that, that's Sonia. Before that. before RFQ? You are close to
yeah.
answer.
Purchase requisition.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. First is PR, purchase requisition. So one second, I'm sorry. One second. Just hold on. Okay, so purchase requisition. So purchasing department, they by themselves, they will not procure any material. There should be some trigger. Okay, either for example, finance department, assume that finance department or IT department, they need printing and stationery. Then they'll raise a purchase requisition, for example. Okay, or production department, customer has come, step in, and he has placed some order, sales order, and he wants some goods. So like he came to our business and he approached us to deliver some products, some finished goods, or whatever it may be, for selling. For it's like a sales, it's part of sales. So in that case, he'll raise a sales order. It comes to our business. Then once we receive the sales order, we'll check in the warehouse, like whether we have stock, because we need to manufacture that, right? So whatever the customer wants, we need to manufacture. So once we get the sales order, we'll see how many quantity he requires. Maybe 100 units, 500 units, something like that. Then we'll see the stock, whether stock is available, finished goods. If it's not available, then we need to manufacture. To manufacture, we need raw material, correct? And we'll again see the stock, whether raw material stock is there or not. If it is there, well and fine. We'll start we can start the manufacturing or production. But if the stock is not, raw material is not available, then we need to raise a purchase requisition and send it to the purchasing department. So in that way, PR will come from multiple sources. Okay, maybe for internal use, like printing and stationery, or for external use. Okay, we need to procure raw material. So once the PR is received, purchasing department, okay, they will send the RFQ to the vendors, to the selected vendors. Sir. Okay. RFQs. That means requisition for quotes. So they will select. There will be multiple vendors in the market, hundreds and hundreds of vendors. They'll shortlist the vendors and they will send the RFQs to selected vendors. Maybe 10 vendors, for example. Out of 100, they will shortlist. These are good vendors. So 10 vendors they've shortlisted. Then they will send RFQs, 10 RFQs to 10 different vendors. So once the vendor receives RFQ, they will send the quotation. So this is all bidding process. Just I'm explaining. Bidding process, technical bidding and commercial bidding. So that they'll select the vendor, okay, based on whoever gives the best quote, okay, will be selected, shortlisted. So and contract will be awarded. Then, so RFQ. Once we send the RFQ, we get the quotes from vendors and we shortlist the quote. Okay, out of 10 RFQs, we go 10 RFQs we raised, we'll get 10 quotes, 9 or 10 quotes. And out of these 10 quotes, we'll select the best one. Okay. And that means out of 10 vendors, we are selecting only one vendor. So the selected vendor will get the contract. We create the contract. There's a separate screen in MM module to create the contract. All this process is called as building. And this can be implemented in MM. If the client wants, we can implement this also. Okay. There's separate screens, for each of the screens, there's separate T codes in the system. Okay. Now, once the contract is awarded, then purchasing department will raise purchase order.
Right.
Okay. And normally the purchasing department, MM people or purchase manager, purchasing clerk, he will raise the purchase order. So what will be the accounting entry here? Will there be accounting entry first of all?
No.
Yeah.
Accounting entry at that time.
Yes. So here, no accounting entry. No. So until this point, if finance is not coming to the scene, it's purely by purchasing department. They do all these activities. Okay. And after we raise the purchase order, so as you know, we can design the purchase order in the system. We can, the form can be designed, that can be printed from SAP, and we can send it to the vendor. So once he gets the purchase order from us or from the business, then we get the goods from the vendor. He will deliver the goods, which is called as goods receipt. Okay. So once a vendor receives our supplier or vendor receives our purchase order, then he will start delivering the goods, maybe within 2 or 3 days, based on the terms we agreed with him, and we get the goods. So goods are coming into the scene now. So goods are entering our premises. So what will be the accounting entry? First of all, will there be accounting entry here or no?
Yes, for
Yeah.
the
What is
received
any
goods.
idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Any idea what is the entry here? What we debit?
Debit inventory,
Debit the inventory.
credit vendor.
Yeah.
No.
No, not it,
Because
not
we
it.
just received. We just received
Received
goods,
goods.
not the invoice.
Yeah.
We will send the invoice later. So we cannot credit the vendor at this point of
Right,
time.
right.
We
Vendor is
credit the
when you
vendor only.
invoice. When you invoice vendor.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Debit inventory, credit.
GRIR.
Exactly. So we need to create some clearing account in the system. So until we receive the invoice, we put the data, we put the values in some clearing account. So which is called as GRIR clearing account. It's a clearing account. I'm sorry. I'm sorry from cold. Bear with me. Okay, GRIR clearing. So this is a intermediary account. Until we get the invoice, we put the data in this. Okay. And then once we receive the invoice, which is called as invoice receipt in the system. Okay, now debit, credit, we have a posting keys in the system. I'll explain all those. These letters are not used, but for accounting purpose, I'm just using this DRCR. But normally in SAP system, these DRCR will not come. We have a separate posting keys for this. Okay, I'll explain that also. And now, so we cannot keep the data open in GRIR clearing account. So there we have credited. Here we are going to debit now.
Debit.
Okay, and then now whatever Mr. Rama has told, we are going to credit the vendor, a supplier, or accounts payable, or AP. Okay, credit accounts payable, and after this, the final step is payment. So we need to pay the vendor, right? He has raised the invoice. We have received the goods, and we have received the invoice, and we need to pay him based on the payment terms, whatever, maybe let it be 30 days, 60 days, or payable immediately. So all this we can configure in the system. Within finance, we can configure, we can create the payment terms, and we can assign it to this vendor. And the system will take that payment terms, and it will trigger the payment. Okay. Now here payment. Any idea what will happen? Or what is the entry?
Debit vendor.
Okay.
Credit bank.
Yeah, of course. Main bank. We normally should be main bank account, credit bank. But majority of the companies, they will implement the interfaces, like the payments will be done by the bank. So we'll have an interface between our system, SAP system, ERP system, and the bank system. So we transfer the file, we generate the payment file to the bank, and bank will pay the vendor based on the data in the file. So we need to design all this, the interface, like which is called as payment medium. We have like a DME, where we can configure everything. Okay, we configure and we transfer this file to the payment, which is called as, we can trigger the file based on this configuration to the bank. So bank will pay. So now, for example, assume that I have transferred.
So this DMAE is done in FSCM in the treasury, because that's where we are creating the house banks now in S4.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yes. All this is coming under, in S4. It was in within EP, in ECC 6.0. Now in S4Hana, it is under treasury. So you are the one who is going to create all this, the treasury part. So house banks and everything, will come under treasury. Now, a few things are moved to other modules in S4Hana, like bank communication management, treasury part. They are taking, some things from finance and controlling. They are doing their work. Okay. Okay. So assume that I trigger the payment file today, but bank will bank will pay the vendor tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So until then, so now I cannot credit the main bank account, because my bank account is not, did not get debited. The money has not gone from my bank. So until then, until the bank files pays to the final vendor, we put in a clearing account.
Clearing account, yeah.
Okay. Again, clearing account is coming into the scene here. Okay. And then finally, when the bank pays, okay, So we have credited clearing account here,
Debit.
bank clearing account. It's called as bank clearing account. Yeah, I can call it as bank clearing account. Okay, yeah. So we credited bank clearing account, and when the bank pays, okay, we debit here. Okay,
Right.
we debit there we credited, and we debit. We need to debit here. Like this last entry will whatever I'm recording now, that will happen only during bank statement. We receive a bank statement maybe daily or weekly or based on the policy or monthly. Once we upload the bank statement in the system, this entry will get posted automatically. So and there's separate configuration for that, electronic bank statement or manual bank statement. Okay, bank clearing, we debit the, so that configuration will post this entry automatically. Okay, and main bank account, we credit main bank account. So this is the automation. We do all this. We do in like this part we do in MMFI integration. So there's some like we can assign the GL accounts in the backend. So automatically, when the user when he is posting a goods receipt, so purchasing guy, he will go to this transaction and he will post goods receipt. He don't know what is entry. He don't know about accounting, but he will just go there, put the data. This will get triggered, when you put the purchase order, there's a field called as purchase order field in Miro transaction.
Migo?
When you put the purchase order,
You mean Migo?
Oh, sorry. Migo. Okay, Migo. It's called as Migo. Okay, when the purchasing user, when he puts the PO number there in the screen, system will fetch all the data from purchase order screen. It will populate in GR screen. That is Migo screen, and he just need to save. That's all. They save the screen. Once he saves, this entry will automatically posted based on the configuration behind MMFI. This is done by finance again. Again, all this one, and there's a separate screen for purchasing people. This is called as Miro. Okay, and when he just we'll put the purchase order in the screen, and system will fetch all the data, the open quantity which is required to be invoiced. System will populate everything and we will post. Again, here also the same thing. We are going to take all the GL accounts, and we are going to assign all the GL accounts, inventory account, GRIR account, all will be assigned in the backend in the configuration, which is called as MMFI configuration. And the transaction code is OBYC for that. Okay, we have different keys there like BSX, WRX. Okay, in the GBB, FRD, FR1 and PRD. So in these keys, transaction keys, we assign all the GL accounts. So based on that assignment, system will pick up all the GL accounts and will post automatically. And the purchasing guy will not even know that some entry is getting posted in the backend. So automatically will get posted. So now this is a three-way matching, So this guy, the guy who is posting invoice receipt, okay, he will not post unless it is matching the goods receipt and purchase order. He will cross-check all this. So this guy will have access to all the screens. This is in ME21 or ME23N. Or create purchase order is ME21N, and display is ME23N. So this guy will have access to all the screens, and also will have access to the hard copies of GR, goods receipt, invoice, and purchase order. He will cross-check all these three. Once three are matching, then only he will post the invoice. So if there's any difference in all these three, he will not post it. Okay, that should be resolved. The difference should be resolved first, and then only he will post. So this is called as three-way matching. So all of these three documents should match first of all. Okay. So any doubt on this, please?
So when you say match, what they will try to match?
In terms of quantity, in terms of amounts, everything. For example, purchase order. Assume that we have raised the purchase order for maybe for 100 units. We need 100 units of raw material. Okay, and he has delivered 100 units. And he will invoice for 100 units. Maybe 100 units is $10, for example. So the invoice should be showing $1,000. Okay, so this should contain the quantity 100 units, 100 units of raw material, and $1,000. Even this one also, and this one also. All these three should match.
But we can receive the partial goods receipt also, right? and
Yeah,
partial
yeah,
invoice.
yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. We can partial goods receipt, partial invoice we receive. Maybe invoice receipt will not be like in single shot. It will be multiple shots. Okay, he will be sending
Right.
multiple invoices, but still, he will match. Like when he is posting the invoice receipt, he will check in the purchase order whether open quantity is available or not. Okay, open quantity means the quantity which is required to be delivered by the vendor.
Right.
If it's available, then only we will post. If it's not available, in purchase order screen we can see everything. How much we raised, like we raised how many quantities we have raised in the purchase order, how many got delivered, how many got invoiced, everything we can see. Okay, I'll show in the screen. Okay, so he will cross check everything, then only he will finally post this invoice. He will just execute this transaction. Everything will automatically, system will post everything. Okay, any doubts in this, please?
No, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Now, in the same way, we have SD FI integration. In the same way, similar way like MMFI, whatever we have, okay, the flow, we will talk about the flow. So SDFI. So this is done by both the SD guy and FI. Of course, this one also, FI people are going to sit with the MM consultant to finalize the GL accounts. We need to link these GL accounts to the valuation class. Valuation class is linked to the material master. So material master is, which is part of MM, but GL accounts and all part of FI. So it's like a important meeting. Both guys need to meet, sit together, finalize the GL accounts, what GL accounts should be linked to what valuation class, and they'll finalize and they will. So it's a teamwork, I can say. It's not just FI work or MM work. It's a teamwork who will be doing all this. Okay. In the same way, FI guy is going to sit with SD guy, sales guy, SD consultant. This configuration. Okay. Now, sales. So, what is the first point, the first trigger for sales? Why the business will sell the goods? On what basis? Why? Customer will come, of course. So, when customer comes, what is the first action that happens? What is the first activity that happens?
Quotes.
So, sorry.
Quote.
Yes. First is
Sales.
inquiry, of course. Yeah,
Inquiry.
inquiry. Will inquiry. So, for each and every step, whatever I'm mentioning here, there's separate screen in SD. Inquiry, to record the inquiry, we have a separate screen. We have separate transaction code is there. So salespeople, they'll record the inquiry. So customer will step in, he will inquire about availability, about the quality of the goods, whatever we have. Okay, and then after that is quote. Okay, we'll give the quote to him. He will request for quote and we'll give the quote to the customer. So if he likes the quote, what happens? He will raise a sales order, like purchase order. He will raise a sales order. He will create the sales order and send it to the business, like send it to the company. So we have separate screen in the system where we can record the sales order. Sales order will be with reference to quote. Okay. Here also same thing. This purchase requisition, all these are linked to each other. We post the purchase order with reference to PR or contract. Okay. So we can create multiple. There are contracts, which are long-term contracts, like 3 years, 5 years. So in that term, there'll be multiple purchase orders which will come in. Okay, we need to raise multiple purchase orders. So we are posting those all purchase orders linking to the contract in that case, for example. Okay. In the same way, we are going to create a sales order with reference to this one. And once we get the sales order, okay, so the sales order is a purchase order for customer. For him, it is a purchase order, but for us, it is sales order. So we record the sales order. Then what happens? What we are going to do?
Issue the goods.
Yeah, goods delivery. It's called as goods delivery. So before goods delivery, there's a story that happens. If it's a manufacturing business, we'll check the stock, whether finished goods is available or not to sell. If it's not available, we'll check the raw material, which happens through MM module, like MRP. We run the material requirement planning in the system. If the stock is available, well and fine, we'll start manufacturing. We'll issue the goods to the production order, or else we need to follow this process, MM process. If the raw material is not available, the story should happen again. All the story, okay. And once we get the raw material and we manufacture, once we get the finished goods from production department, then the goods are available for delivery, which is called as delivery in sales module. This is called as delivery. That means we are delivering the goods, whatever the goods he has ordered in sales order. He would have mentioned everything in the sales order, how many units he wants. Like so, based on that, we are going to create the delivery. A separate screen for this one, done by the salespeople, and finally the invoice. We are going to raise the invoice to the customer. It's called as customer invoice. Okay, and now accounting. Let's see, accounting impact. Where the accounting will come into the scene here in this flow. Inquiry? I don't think.
No.
No. Terasu, no. What about sales order?
No.
So here delivery?
Yes.
Yes, because now goods are going out. So when the goods come in, or like for example raw material, or when the goods go out, like finished goods, so there will be accounting impact. Okay, an invoice, yes, as you know. So here, what will be the accounting entry here?
Debit inventory, credit clearing account.
No, inventory will be debited only when inventory comes into our premises. But here inventory is going out, right?
Right.
So
Inventories.
I'm going to create the inventory. Instead of writing inventory, I'll write it as finished goods.
Right.
Okay. So what will be debited here? COGS. What is COGS? It's called
Cost of goods sold.
exactly, cost of goods sold. So we debit the cost of goods sold. This cost of goods sold will get credited when we receive the goods, finished goods from production department. That is like FIPP flow again. So there it got credited. Now it is getting debited here. So when we deliver the goods to the customer, we are going to debit the cost of goods sold and credit the finished goods. The same way invoice. So during invoice, what happens? What will be debited and what will be credited? They should be simple.
Debit finished goods.
No,
Debit.
no, no.
Credit, sorry,
No.
credit the COGS and debit customer.
No, COGS will not come into the scene now. Now sales is coming into the scene. So now only customer and sales. That's all. So yeah. Sorry.
Cash to customer.
Yeah, it can be like no, not cash to customer. It can be if it's a cash sale, then it will be like we debit the cash and credit the sales revenue. Okay, if it's a credit sale, what we want to do is we debit the customer and we credit the sales revenue.
Right, sales revenue.
Yeah. So if it's a cash, this is for cash sale. Okay, mainly one-time customers who step into the business, into our company or our mall or something, they'll pick up the goods. One-time customers. For those kind of guys, this entry will get recorded. But we'll have a long-term relationship. There are many customers, who take the goods on credit. So we'll give a offer to them, like you can pay the money within 30 days or 60 days. So for that kind of transaction, we are going to debit the customer and sales. Okay, and customer payment finally.
Right.
So this is not applicable here. We already received the cash, so that's the end of the story. If it's a cash sale, but customer sale, credit sale, still the story is not over. We just raise the invoice to the customer and he is yet to pay to us. So in this case, he has to give us the payment, right? So in that case, what will get debited and what will get credited? So we are going to debit cash, okay, and credit customer. So these are the accounting entries, and this is a finance activity, and these are all automatically will get posted in the system based on the configuration, and mainly this is done by the salespeople. Finance will not do this, but they need to understand. Finance people, they need to understand. So there is a separate transaction code for this. Okay.
Right, and now in S4Hana, we have different processes, right? So they have mainly named it as a different process. So everything is a process, correct?
Process means here for the business or for like for a consultant? I mean,
Well, for the business. So for every scenario, it's like the order to cash, right?
Yeah, order to cash. Yeah, it will be like different actually. Order to cash and all that. That's order to cash is the term which is used, even for ECC they are using, but it's a process exactly. But the basic thing, whatever I'm explaining, the same thing will be there.
Right.
Okay. And for billing, we have 0, 1. Okay. And in S4HANA, normally, majority, if you implement Fiori, they will have a user-friendly thing. But backend is SAP GUI only, SAP GUI. So normally in ECC 6.0, all users were normally they will have SAP access to. They need to log into SAP GUI, which is a front-end screen, as you know, and they need to process transaction. But in like S4HANA, if you implement S4HANA, majority of the client will implement Fiori also. So it will be like a Fiori. So it is like an internet kind of user interface, and the backend for this is SAP GUI only. So all whatever you see here, will you see now? You're going to see this in the Fiori, and you're going to post. That's all. Okay. So any doubt in this, please?
No, good.
Okay. And a small thing again, PPFI integration, also production planning. So when you issue the goods issue to the production order, and we receive the goods, receive the finished goods. So here also will based on the integration, system will post the entry automatically. So debit and credit. Okay, goods issue, we debit the consumption. So we are issuing the raw material to the production department. We are giving the raw material to the production department to manufacture some, do it, process it, and convert it into finished goods. So we debit consumption, and inventory is going to the production department. So it's raw material account, raw material. In the same way, when we receive the goods, debit and credit here. Sorry. So when we debit here, what is that? Finished goods. We are receiving the finished goods from production department. We debit finished goods and credit COGS account. So all these are entries are automatically posted except this. Except this, all are automatically posted based on the configuration, which is one-time configuration done by the consultant during implementation or upgrade or deployment, whatever may be. So he will complete all the configuration after gathering all the requirements from the business, and he will complete this, and system will take care of all. Now this debit credit, in S4HANA, system will, there's no concept of DR, CR in SAP. It is only through numericals. So let's talk about that. Okay. Okay, we have for finance consultants, okay, we have here document types and posting keys, which is very, very important. So the debit, DR, CR is represented by posting keys. It's a 2-digit numericals, okay, and document types. So document types are this will differentiate the different kinds of transactions. So by seeing the document type, you can tell what kind of transaction it is. By seeing the entry is very difficult. Everybody will not be expert in accounting. So even if you don't know the accounting, you can see, you can tell what kind of transaction it is in the system. Like for example, vendor invoice is separate document type we have. System will pick up automatically. Like customer invoice, it's DR. Okay. In the same way, customer vendor payment, system will pick up KZ here and DZ here. Like for example, if it's asset posting, it will be if the GL posting, it will be like some SA, something like that. Okay. So these are the 2-digit alphabets. By seeing the document type, we can see what kind of transaction. So these document types will differentiate the transaction within system, within HANA. Okay. And posting keys are like it will tell whether particular line item is debited or credited. Like for example, debit GL. If you want to debit GL 40, if you credit GL 50, okay. If you want to debit the customer, it's 01. Okay, for example. So here in this case, for example, let's take customer here. Okay, this entry. Okay. So system will use, instead of DR, it will use 01 as posting key, and here system will use 50. because this is a GL account, which is part of chart of accounts. So whenever you debit or credit GL accounts or debit GL account, it's 40. When you credit the GL account, it is 50 here. And it's 01. Customer, you are debiting the customer, not the GL account here. So system will pick up 01. These are standard posting keys, and we can further create custom posting keys, custom document types based on the business requirement. All this will be done during implementation. So when you observe, like as a consultant, when you go for S4Hana implementation, okay, what is that? You will sit with the business to gather the requirements. From that, you'll understand whether business requires a new document type which is not available in the system. System has given all document types, long list of document types, long list of posting keys. That should suffice. But still, if you observe a new one is required to be created, then you can go and create a new document type like ZA, something like that, or ZB, like this. We can create a new document type. The same way, you can create new posting keys also. But in majority cases, ID in my experience, I never got any requirement, like for creating a new document type or new posting key. Whatever the standard that was available, that was suiting to the requirements business. So we use the same thing, and we'll do the configuration. So like already system has delivered the configuration for this. Like for example, 50. So credit GL account. So in the configuration of like a document type configuration screen, this is already there. So what this posting key will do, it is going to credit the GL account. So that configuration will trigger all this automatically in the system. Whenever you post this entry, system will pick up all this. And document number ranges.
Or just me?
Sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Just got disconnected?
No. You got disconnected, or you're asking me like I got disconnected?
Oh, that's fine. I think for me, it just restarted. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Okay. So in the same way for posting key, so they separate a screen, configuration screen. System will deliver. When you purchase SAP, the user license, system will give all this configuration automatically. Further, if you want to change the configuration, you can change it. But we will get the like configured posting keys, which are called as standard posting keys, standard document types by default. And if you want to going to create, then you're going to do the configuration for this. Okay, for Z document types or Z posting keys or custom posting keys, whatever you call. This one more thing is document number ranges. This can be year specific or not specific. Okay. Document number ranges. So year specific means like that we can create a range. We can create the number range specific to each year. Every year we have to create the number range. Normally it will not be done, but it will be available for long term. So these document number ranges are linked to document type. So document type, once we create the number ranges, we create the document types. So this document type will tell what kind of number range it has to pick it up, should get picked. Okay. For example, one series will be like 1 all zeros. Normally it will be 10 digit or 9 digit, whatever may be. So 1 series, 2 series, for example, I'm taking. So if you create these number ranges for GL postings, so we assign this document number range to the document type called as SA. So whenever you post the transaction using this document type, system will automatically pick up this document number starting with 1, and it will assign the one number to the each transaction. So whenever you post, either a vendor invoice, a GL posting, or customer invoice, customer payment, vendor payment, whatever it may be, asset postings, system will assign one document number to each transaction. Every transaction you do, one number range will be assigned. So one number will be assigned. So that is triggered by these two document number ranges, which is linked to document type. Okay. And 2 series, if we decide that system should pick up like for a vendor invoice. Yeah. So whenever you post a vendor invoice, for example, MIRO. Okay. system will pick up two series, two all zeros. The first transaction system will pick up is like, two all zeros. Normally document number range will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, like this. Normally lengthy document number. We can decide the number range also. The length of the number you want, whether you want 4 digit, 5 digit, 10 digit. Majority cases it will be 10 digit because lot of transaction will get posted, right? So it should be lengthy number. So until like the number range will be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this. So the first transaction, when you post first vendor invoice, system will pick up this number. Second vendor invoice, system will pick up 2 all zeros 1, like that. So we have like sufficient numbers. See, it's a big range. So system will pick up the numbers sequentially, automatically, and sequentially without our intervention. So we need not keep track of the number ranges in the system. System will keep track of everything. And system will tell what is the current number range and all. When you go to the document number ranges screen, the configuration screen, you can see what is the current number range that is being used and what will be the next number that will be assigned to the vendor invoice. I can show you when you like when we open the system. I will explain you. I will show you all this. Okay. And one more thing is here. This is all PO based. PO based. Whatever the flow I have explained is PO based for PO based invoices. Okay. So that means all invoices are posted with reference to PO. Okay. So there are invoices. There will be some bills or invoices without PO, non-PO, which are called as non-PO based. So in that case, how? Non-PO based transactions. We call it as non-PO based transactions. So in that case, how will we handle? There's a separate. This is purely finance, not linked to MM, because it's not linked to PO. It's not linked to purchasing people or MM people. So it's purely finance. We have separate transactions, FB60, where we can post. Okay, or F-02. Okay, FB01. These are various transactions we can use. We can post the invoice directly without PO. So this is purely part of finance. And in the business, can you give me one example for non-PO based? One transaction, one invoice which is non-PO based.
Like
Anyone? Sorry.
The office supplies.
Office supplies. Instantly we purchase office supplies. Still, few more, if you don't mind. Few more. Where you need to post the invoice and pay the vendor, but no PO.
Services.
Normally even services also.
Yeah,
like
there can be POs. Yeah, it's twofold. There can be POs.
Yeah, there are very simple examples. Few more examples. Very simple. Even in your personal life, you will come across that. I'm giving you a hint. In your personal life, just think about the transactions you do. You will get a bill, correct? But there will be no PO. Bill is nothing but invoice here. Simple.
Right,
so what kind of things you will get the bill? For electricity, you will get the bill. Water, utilities, you will get the bill. When you shop, you will get the bill. There's no PO in this case. So for electricity payment, we need to pay the electricity vendor, right? So we need to pay the electricity vendor, utility vendor, blah blah blah. So in that case, there will be no PO. So you can directly post invoice in FB60, which is a user-friendly screen. Majority of the users will use this only. These are a little bit, they need to get trained to post in these two. This is very user-friendly. No need to remember the accounting entry. But here you have to remember the accounting entry to post. What we need to debit, what we need to credit. But here is not required. Okay, so majority of the users will use this FB60 only, so which is very user-friendly. So FB60 we have three user-friendly transactions: FB50, FB60, FB70. So this is GL posting. This is non-PO based invoice. This is non-SO based. There will be no sales order, but still you are selling. You're going to sell to the customer. SO based sale.
So what was the example that you took for the non-PO?
Non-PO based is electricity charges. We get the bill, correct? Every month regularly we get the bill.
Okay.
utility bill, or if you instantly go to the mall or purchase something, that is non-PO based. You will not write a purchase order. For example, groceries, purchase of groceries in your personal life. In the same way, your supplies, Rama told supplies, office supplies. It can be coffee powder, it can be milk in the office. So these are you visit instantly to the shop and you purchase it. There will be no PO.
Yeah, so,
you will not raise a PO.
yeah, so we can also create custom POs or like purchasing cards with the limits. Right?
Custom PO? What is custom PO? I didn't get Sonia.
Like
Just say
how we can create custom POs also, right? PO type.
Okay. Purchase PO type. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The standard delivered PO types, and we can create that will be done by the MM people, not finance people. So every purchase order, should be categorized under one type. Okay. Is it a service or is it good, something like that? So we can create any number of custom PO types, not POs, custom PO types. That is normally that will happen in the implementation. Definitely business will require different PO types which are required to be created, and MM guy will take care of all those things. MM consultant will take care of that. We can create that also. No issues. Even sales order type also. So if the business is things are not suiting to the standard SO types, we can create a custom SO type, sales order type, and we can use that sales order type for sale. Okay, any questions till now, please?
No.
No, we're good.
I'm sorry. And I'm just thinking, what I can cover. There are some prerequisites I need to explain, before going into the system. I'm just thinking what else is left. So document types and posting keys. Okay. One more
It's 9
concept.
o'clock.
One more concept is field status group is there. Field status. Okay. Before that, let me explain a few more things. Posting period. Okay. Posting period variant and fiscal year variant. So fiscal year variant, we need to configure this fiscal year variant. So we are going to tell the system what is my first month. Like if it's an Indian company, the first month will be April, correct? If it's a US company, US-based company, the first month will be January. They follow calendar year. So I'm going to tell the system. So I'm going to tell the system this is my first month in the financial year. April is my first month in the financial year. So so each and every period, like I'm going to tell like this. So this is my Jan is my first month. So this is my second month. Okay. So I'm going to define all the 12 months and tell the system these are my 12 months. It should be system should take care of this. I'm going to tell the system in the configuration. So once it is done, system will pick up automatically. Like the financial system will decide the financial year is like from April to March or Jan to December. System will take care of that. Once we create the fiscal year variant, after doing this, we assign this to the company code. We link this to the company code. So for my company, so for my US company, the first month will be January, and if I have a branch in India, the first month will be April, like that. So for my Indian company or branch, assume that the company is headquartered in the US, and that will take care of this one, this fiscal year variant FI1. Okay, let me name it like FI1, FI2. Okay, and in the system we have to give the names like this, not like this. It's a different way. I'll explain you when you open the system. So here, this is used by my Indian company. So my first month will be April. Okay. My third month will be June. So I'm going to define like this. What are which is my first month? Okay, all the 12 months. Okay, and this is fiscal year variant and posting period variant. Here we open the periods for postings. Once we open the periods, then users will be able to post, or else system will block. So you cannot post until and unless you open the periods, for each document account type. So account type is like for K, vendor account type, D is for customer account type, A is for asset account type, and S is for like GL, M is for material. So for these account types, okay, I need to open. And in the system, I can show clearly. It's very difficult to explain. So we need to open the period. Once we open the period, so it will be done normally. It will be done by the CFO. CFO will have control on this. Nobody will have control. He will only open the period. So every month he will open after completion of January. Now, for example, now today is the 30th of January. So he will open tomorrow for February. So for Feb, the posting period will be open. Once he opens, then only users can post invoices, GL postings, payments can be done, or else nothing can be posted. So it will be on monthly basis. Normally this is standard. So he will keep for first week of February, for example, he will open the February period completely, and he will keep the January period open for first week only to complete the month-end activities. So once the month-end activities are completed in the first week of February for January period, then he will close the January period, and he will keep the February period open. So this is posting period variant, and this fiscal year variant. Okay. One more is field status variant. So this is field status variant. Okay. So these are the three variants you need to remember within finance: fiscal year variant, posting period variant, and field status variant. So here, this field status variant, it controls the fields. We can control the fields in the screen. What field I need to suppress, display, or make it mandatory. So if I make the field, for example, GL account field is there in the system. In the GL account field is there in the system. Cost center field will be there. Okay, GL account field. If I want to make this field as mandatory, then I can control here. So we have a different status here. There are 4 status. I'll show you in the system again, that one. So it is like mandatory or compulsory, mandatory, okay, optional. These are the different status: display and suppress. Maybe the terms are different in S4Hana. I'll just okay, show that. So mandatory, if you mark this field as mandatory, like, you cannot post the transaction without mentioning the GL account or cost center. Optional means you can or you cannot. It's like to your discretion. If the cost center is not applicable, not available, then leave it blank, or else you can mention. Display means it will only display. You cannot enter anything in this field. The field will be grayed out in the system. And suppresses, that field will disappear in the screen. You will not see that field. So these are the 4 status. Sorry, one second, please. 1 second. Oh, 1 second, if you don't mind. Yeah, these are the basic, things, I thought of explaining before going to the system, like S4Hana.
Yeah.
Any questions you heard till now?
No, we're good. I'm good.
No, we're good.
Okay, in S4Hana, the difference is, main difference is between ECC 6.0 and S4Hana is mainly the speed. Okay, the calculations, as you know, like, in ECC 6.0, there are 3 layers: database layer, application layer, and SAP GUI, which is a user interface. And the calculation was happening in application layer. So when you apply a formula from a user interface, application layer will pick up the data from database layer, calculate, and then send it back to the database layer. It was happening in that way, but it's not now in S4HANA. It's not like that. It's in memory. Automatically, in a single place, all the calculations will happen. So it's very fast. While generating the reports, system will display any volume of data very quickly. Very quickly, it will display the data. And moreover, it is a single source of truth. All the data now sitting in a single table, which is a universal truth or universal ledger. So it's easy for the system to pick up the data. And also the data in the tables is arranged in column wise, not in row wise. Like in ECC 6.0 tables, in the tables like BKPF or BSEG, data was in row wise, but here in column wise. If it's a column wise, is very system will pick up the data very quickly, and in memory calculations will be there. It's very fast, a single source of truth, and cost element accounting. For example, in 6.0 in ECC, there were primary cost elements, secondary cost elements. Now it's not like that here. It's a GL account. Okay, it's merged. I can say. Okay, it's merged. The cost element accounting is merged with the GL sub module. I can show you in the system. Okay, once we open the system, I'll explain you the differences between ECC 6.0 and also S4HANA. And if you have any questions till now, whatever we discussed, you can just raise it, please.
Yeah. Can you share before starting your class? Can you share what you are going to explain? The subject. Yeah.
Okay.
The topics that you are going to explain, and if you have any documentation on that, give that documentation. That way we can understand.
Yeah, sure. I'll schedule a plan. The plan. I'll just prepare a plan and with the dates and all. So I will share that what I'm going to cover in advance, so that you can just have a look.
That will be great. Yeah.
So if you have any questions, you can just you're free to raise it now. Whatever I know, I'll just definitely explain.
I think I'm good so far.
Yeah, I'm good too. I think the documentation would help, and if we know it before, that would help.
Yeah, Sonia, I was just hearing you, you want to pass a certification, right? So certification is, I will tell you in the last class or in last before class, I'll explain you the strategy you need to follow to pass the certification and all. So it's a multiple choice questions. So there are two types of multiple choice questions, like with a single answer correct one, with a multiple answers correct one. So you need to practice those questions, and I will give you some sites where you can practice the questions to pass the exam. Don't worry, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I also I got the experience and I gone through the certification material. Then I practiced the questions. Then only I gave certifications and I passed. In a first attempt, I passed. Okay. So follow some strategy. If you adopt some strategy for preparation for the exam, see whatever the practicals I'm showing is different, and certification preparation is also different. So you have to club both. And this practical exposure is a prerequisite for your certification. If you want to practice the question, understand the questions, then you need to understand the system first.
Right.
So complete the practicals first, and in the last class or last before class, I'll explain you the strategy to follow. I'll give some sites where you can practice the questions. There are some good sites, where you can practice. So practice the questions. That also will give you more insights about the system also, and definitely you'll pass.
Okay. So do you think instead of waiting till the last two classes, do you think that can be done on side to side, like when
No,
we're
if I give that, you will start now itself, you'll get confused. I'm telling you, you'll get confused, and you'll get scared also. If you start practicing the question now itself, you will not understand anything, and you will think it's very difficult to pass. I don't want to give that kind of a picture here. So don't start. I will not give anything now. I'll give you in the last stage only. Okay. Once you understand the system, once you are confident on the hands-on, then only I suggest you to practice the questions. Then only you'll understand. Now, this is the first class, you will not understand the questions. If you practice the questions or go through the certification material, you will not understand anything. Okay. So don't worry. You will be guided. Don't worry. Okay. And Sonia, where you are located? Rama is in US, and you are?
I'm in US also.
Both are in US. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. I have been to US maybe it was long back. I think I was working in EDS. I came to meet the client, General Motors in New York.
Okay.
But it was very short duration. But I traveled 10 countries till now. So Dubai is my 10th country. UAE is my 10th country. On different kinds of projects, I traveled all over the world, like Sweden, France, Indonesia, Africa.
Very nice.
Blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
Fine. Yeah, no questions now.
No, we're good.
Very good.
Uh,
Yeah. Tomorrow, just let us know what is the schedule, what you are going
yeah,
to.
I will share it through mail. Okay, I'll share it through mail. Okay.
Yeah. That
Yeah, I'll collect your mail IDs from Zahir, and I will share it through mail.
They're in the chat.
They're on the
Oh,
chat
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, in the chat itself is there. Let me copy if it's available here.
Yeah.
Don't know. Okay, anyhow, I'll collect it. Okay.
And also share these sheets, whatever the worksheets we are preparing.
Okay.
Sometimes it will be easier to reference when we have
Yeah,
a question.
sure. But
yeah.
these sheets, randomly I'm doing it. It's not
Right,
organized.
yeah.
Is it okay for you?
Yeah.
It is not looking good actually, but it's not organized. But I'll share it. No issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Rama. And Zahir. Zahir is on the call. I don't know. Okay. We can stop and I will have a word with Zahir and I will meet again tomorrow at 7:30 my time. 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
You were telling it 8 p.m. in the US time, right? So we'll meet
Right.
tomorrow.
8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Rama. Thank you, Sonia.
Okay, thank you.